a coach has a pulse of his team. You know if your team, I don't want to say nervous, but if your team is in a fog, so to speak, the locker room, the music isn't playing as loud. It's on 5 opposed to 10. It's on 4 instead of 8. It's that guy is not sitting in the chair that he normally would sit in pregame. All of a sudden, people are not walking out the tunnel together. They're walking out separately. You can feel all of those sort of things inside of a locker room getting ready for a game. So I don't think it's too far-fetched for him to say that his team was nervous or a little ants or whatever he said, and then you got 1 or 2 players that may be important. Maybe the center's a little nervous and he screwed up several plays, or maybe Tony Pollard was nervous and he went the wrong way on a run play. And then once they calmed down and settled down, then he got into the flow of things, but it was too late at that point because the 49ers were cooking. I understand clearly what he's saying, 100%.
I get it too. It makes sense, but it feels like this makes sense to me when you're talking internally in the locker room with your players. You're like, I know you guys, things felt a little bit off. You guys, it seemed like you guys are a little bit nervous. But this is where I feel like transparency goes wrong sometimes. And I know people in the media want to hear like the realness.
Playing him out.
Right? You want to tell me the truth, tell me how you really feel.
He played his team out.
But when you do that, like you add fuel to the fire that's already existing. And my thing on something like this, I'm cool with him recognizing his players are nervous. I just don't know if I come out and I say that to the media.
Don't air the dirty laundry.
Yeah, I don't know if I do that. I don't want to not throw my players under the bus. But I don't want to put that on my players to have to answer about being nervous, Key. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. You know, you're right about that. I probably wouldn't have addressed the media by saying my team is a little bit nervous. That probably was a wrong choice of words.
Yeah.
That's why when he had the opportunity to backtrack him, he did.
Yeah.
Because he realized, much like you said, Jay, I think I said nervous.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's forgivable.
Probably not the right word to use.
That's forgivable. Everyone, like, no one, it doesn't come out right every time, whatever. I don't care about that so much as the fact that I wonder, what is it that Mike McCarthy thinks is his job? What does he think? What does he think it is he does? Because I understand, Key, I don't doubt that he has many qualities of a good head coach, or else he wouldn't have won a Super Bowl, even with Aaron Rodgers. And a head coach is leader of a team, and you have to have organizational kind of skills and all kinds of stuff. I don't doubt he has many of those qualities. However, you rise or fall to a certain level based on other stuff too, not just, not just these kind of like macro qualities of being able to lead a group or organize things. And he lost a job in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers because it deteriorated to the point where, obviously, listen, if Rodgers wanted him there, I'll bet you he's still there. But the point is, all year long, the question was, if it comes down to the end of the game, what about clock management? And even forget clock management specifically. How will the team react? He does not call plays. The team was unprepared at the end of that game in critical ways that led to their loss. Key, what is it that Mike McCarthy does? Like, what's his job? What does he think he's supposed to do?
Let me backtrack before I even answer that. You do realize he won a Super Bowl in Green Bay, Max.
I mentioned it.
I know that. And you do, and also, there's a coach in Kansas City named Andy Reid that coached in Philadelphia.
I'm aware.
And he was accused many times over about clock management.
No doubt.
Clock management. Eventually, he got fired by the Philadelphia Eagles because it didn't work anymore. He had been there for a long time. There's another coach named Tony Dungy that was accused of having a bad offense year in and year out. He got fired eventually by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guy named Bill Belichick, who's coming down as one of the greatest coaches in the history of the National Football League. I think he's got 6 championships or something like that and been like 9 times. He was fired by the Cleveland Browns. So if you stay in it long enough, you're going to get fired. I just want to say that. I want to be clear there. When you look at Mike McCarthy, you say, well, what is he, right? He ain't calling the offense. He's not calling the defense. The team is at times in disarray, a lot of penalties, things of that nature. There's a lot of teams with a lot of penalties when you break it down. The Oakland Raiders historically, no matter who the coach is, is historically penalized to a whole nother level. In this year alone, the expectations based on the quarterback getting the type of money that he got and the young nucleus of talent that surrounded them comes the hype in the yeast that we put on the Dallas Cowboys. So the expectations is greater for them year in and year out than most teams in the National Football League.
But first of all, a couple things, Key, that I want to go back to. You said you get fired if you stick around long enough. There are very few examples of great coaches who have won Super Bowls with a great quarterback who's still great and lose their job. Like Bill Walsh didn't lose his job with Joe Montana. Andy Reid has not yet, and he's an older guy already, lost his job with Patrick Mahomes. Bill Belichick didn't lose his job with Tom Brady.
Because he won for 30 years in a row. What are you talking about?
Mike McCarthy was with Aaron Rodgers in his prime and lost his job.
If Bill Belichick, Max Kellerman, if Bill Belichick goes on a run of 4 years of missing the playoffs, his ass will get fired no matter how many.
Back it up.
No matter how many Super Bowl trophies he has.
Back it up. Bill Belichick with Tom Brady didn't lose his job. Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers still in his prime, had won a Super Bowl with him, and got the boot. So what other examples can you come up with of a head coach who's won a Super Bowl with a great quarterback who's still great and got fired?
There's a ton of them. What are you talking about?
Give me one.
When you run out of years after coaching and you don't take a team to the playoffs or you don't take a team to a championship, you're going to get fired no matter who the quarterback is.
Give me an example.
What are you talking about?
Give me an example.
Bill Walsh retired.
Okay,
George Seifert got fired.
Give me an example of
a coach
who's won a Super Bowl with a great quarterback who is
George
still
Seifert,
great and got
one.
the boot.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.